if Aaron Rodgers comes back this year, can the Jets compete for a Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Because again, like we said about the AFC, it does not matter what record you're going with. It just matters about getting in there. I think what sucks is if you're the Jets, is it's starting to look more and more bleak of like actually getting in there though. Because I think this would be a week like you missed the best. This against Raiders was the best example of like, man, like the defense did everything, and it's like this is just the Jets.
16 points and allowing 16 points and losing the game is ridiculous.
I mean, no, this one really did hurt to watch as a prior Zach Wilson stan back in the draft process. You know, if you've been watching the show for this long, you didn't know I was like an OG Zach Wilson stan. I mean, OG like college, like this man's got. But look, getting back to reality, and now I obviously know where things have went. And this was one that was really hard to watch because this is just one where you're like, man, Zach, just make a play.
Yeah.
Like, Zach, just one play. Like, they just need one play, Zach. Zach, they got to play. And I know, like Salah would say, it's not all on Zach, which is not. The offense just absolutely still has just been playing like garbage, regardless of Zach or not. Like, the offensive line is not good. The running back situation has been poor, but minus Breece Hall. But that's where it's weird, though. It's like, is it fair of me then to even say that Aaron Rodgers could bring them to Super Bowl this year because of how bad everything else about the offense has been? It's like maybe at that point I'm putting too much stock in the legend that is Aaron Rodgers. But, you know, as much of a legend as he is, you can only uplift the team so much. And it's like,
I really think it's that O-line and Zach Wilson combo. Like, I don't think it's their skill positions.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't get on Conklin and Garrett and all these boys. No, I'm not going to get on them. It's everything else about the way the offense is built, though. And I don't know if you saw, just a quick little side note. Salah was saying how he was defending Zach again in the press conference. I get it's his guy. I get that he's trying to. All I'm going to say is if you're Rob, you got to start being careful with that New York media, dude. I know Rob's not listening to this right now, but I'm telling you, if that's some way you get this, hear me out. Like, you got to be careful with that New York media, man. Like, I feel like he's getting into that range of starting to play it down a little too much. And then if you get them against you, doesn't matter how much you've shown you know what you're doing, like Robert Saleh does. It's like if they get against you quick in New York, like,
oh yeah,
it can go downhill fast. And I feel like I'm starting to feel it lean, unfortunately, into like, oh man, what's this guy Saleh talking about? This guy Saleh, what the fuck? Like, because I've been seeing that's definitely been the consensus this morning with him being back on Zach's side, essentially saying Zach's fine. You know, like it has much more to do with the offense as a whole. Like, you got to be careful because when the fans feel one way strongly and you're basically telling them they're wrong, it's only a matter of time before they start scapegoating you too.
I think this was also a really big win for Antonio Pierce, the interim head coach for the Raiders. I mean,
huge.
It's been night and day since firing McDaniels.
And again, you could sit here and be like, but it was against the Jets. And again, it does not matter. Like we say, a win is a win. You got to fire up the guys to do it that week. And you're playing Aiden O'Connell. Like, you know, I think everybody, us and then Hype as a whole, maybe got a little excited on Aiden a little early because you see he's got some good stuff about him. You see the stuff he can do. But we also see there's still a ton of growth that has to happen for him to hit his ceiling. And realistically, you don't have a ton of like leeway to make splashes this year because of how much you have to mitigate the offense around his youngness, whatever that's even a word. You get my point.
Yeah.
His youth. Like the whole situation with the Raiders is, yes, they don't really have the guy at the QB. So it's like you only can do so much. But with Antonio doing what he's doing, and I think showing, I don't know if I've seen a group of guys subscribe to a coach in quicker than this. I mean, this is like, again, like from how poor that the culture was to literally everybody saying the Raider way. I can't tell you how many times I've heard all these guys say the past few weeks, the Raider way. Like nobody's talking about that when Josh McDaniels was there.
Nobody.
When you can go from having a team feeling like they have no identity to literally speaking in their own language 2 weeks later, it says all I need to know about you and how much you command them. Yeah. So if you're a Mark, or I was about to
Mark. Wait, now I'm screwing up.
No, I was
Davis.
I was about to call him Al Davis. Then I'm like, hold on. Yeah, if you're, I was about to mix up Al and Mark somehow. Yeah, if you're Mark Davis, you got to say to yourself, I can't fuck this up twice. I saw how much the boys subscribed to Rich. We let Rich walk back to the Packers. I'm not doing that again. I'm taking my interim guy that's commanding these boys, and I'm just rocking with it.
Just give him a 2-year contract.
See, and if it doesn't work, you can just give him 1 year. You really could. Like, let me just give you another, see how this next year looks, and we'll go from there. Because you got to at least give him another. You have to. We got to at least see where it's going to go with a full year, the training camp, getting the actual, everybody on the same page really from day one. Let's see how it goes.